The bell over the diner door jingled, that cheerful little sound that usually meant another hungry traveler, another smile, another tip. But that night, the sound felt wrong. It was sharp. It cut through the hum of the jukebox and the clatter of plates. 3 men swaggered in like they owned the place. Their boots thudded against the old checkered floor. The smell of cheap whiskey followed them in, thick and bitter, and behind the counter, Leela froze. It was 11:47 p.m. The open 24 hours sign flickered in red neon outside. It was her last shift before she could finally take a weekend off. Her first in months. But the moment those men stepped in, she knew peace wasn't coming that night. "Hey, sweetheart," one of them sneered, leaning on the counter. "How about you serve us, huh? Or do we gotta beg for it?" The way he said serve us wasn't about food. It was about power. Leela forced a smile, the kind of smile that hides fear but keeps you safe. "What can I get you, gentlemen?" They laughed. "Gentlemen," one barked, nudging his friend. "You hear that, Tony? She called us gentlemen." He leaned closer, close enough that she could smell the alcohol. "Serve us, BC." The diner went quiet. Even the jukebox skipped. Leela had been working at Marty's roadside diner for 2 years. Small town, small tips, big dreams. She worked double shifts to help her mom with rent and to keep saving for nursing school. Her life wasn't easy, but she believed in kindness, always did. Her motto, scrawled on a sticky note taped above the coffee machine, said, "You can't control how people treat you, only how you treat them." But that night, that belief was about to be tested harder than ever. Marty, the owner, was out back doing the books. There was just one other customer, an old trucker named Hank, halfway through his apple pie. He looked up, frowned, but stayed quiet. The 3 men were big, loud, and looking for trouble. Leela kept her composure. She took their order, burgers, fries, beers, and hurried to the kitchen. Her hands trembled as she plated the food. She could hear their voices, crude jokes, laughter that made her skin crawl. When she brought the tray to their booth, one of them, the one with a shaved head and tattoos creeping up his neck, slapped her on the hip. "Oops," he said, grinning. "Didn't mean to." Leela stepped back. "Please don't touch me," he laughed. "Oh, you hear that, boys?" she said, "please. Guess we got ourselves a polite little waitress." The other 2 joined in, louder, uglier. Marty came out from the back just as one of the men knocked over his coffee cup. "Hey," Marty barked. "You gonna pay for that, or what?" The bald one stood. "What'd you say to me, old man? Pay for it?" Marty didn't back down, even though his voice shook a little. Things escalated fast, voices rising, fists clenching. Leela stepped between them, her heart pounding. "Please," she said softly, "let's just keep it calm. It's almost midnight. You can eat and go." The leader sneered. "You don't tell me what to do, girl." He took a step forward, and then, all at once, the bell above the door jingled again. Every head turned, the door swung open, and in walked 6 men, leather jackets, big boots, chrome helmets under their arms. The emblem on their backs read Iron Hearts MC. They didn't look like heroes, they looked dangerous, but the way they carried themselves, steady, calm, eyes sharp, said something else. The leader, a tall man with salt and pepper hair and a gray beard, scanned the room. "Evenin," he said. His voice was low but commanding. "Did we come at a bad time?" No one answered. Leela's heart raced. She didn't know whether to be relieved or terrified. The 3 thugs laughed nervously. "Just having some fun, man," one said. "Mind your business." The biker looked at Leela. "Miss, they bothering you?" Her throat tightened. She didn't want to start a fight, but she couldn't lie. Her voice cracked. "Yes, sir." That was all it took. The bikers didn't yell, they didn't threaten. They just stood there, tall, silent, unflinching. The air changed. The thugs, who had swaggered in so full of bravado, suddenly looked small. The bald one scoffed. "You gonna fight us over some waitress?" The biker leader tilted his head. "Not over her." For her, the next few seconds were chaos. One thug swung first, a clumsy, drunk punch that missed. In an instant, the bikers stepped in. No wild brawling, no shouting, just swift, precise movements. One grabbed the man's wrist, twisted it behind his back, and guided him to the floor. Another calmly pushed the second thug back into the booth. "Time to leave," the leader said. Marty called the sheriff. Within minutes, red and blue lights flashed outside. The thugs were dragged out, cursing and spitting, but they were done. Leela stood by the counter, shaking, adrenaline flooding her veins. One of the bikers handed her the coffee pot she'd dropped earlier. "You okay, ma'am?" She nodded weakly. I think so. Thank you." He smiled. "Nobody messes with family, even if we just met you tonight." When the chaos settled, Marty gave everyone free coffee. "On the house," he said, hands trembling a bit. The bikers sat quietly, laughing softly among themselves. Leela brought their pie. "Best in town," she said, voice still shaky. The leader looked at her name tag. "Leela, you're brave, you know that." She shook her head. "I was terrified." "Bravery ain't the absence of fear," he said, sipping his coffee. "It's doing what's right while you're scared." That night, they stayed until the sheriff came back to confirm everything was settled. When they finally left, one of them paused at the door. "Keep that smile," he told her. "World needs more people like you." The bell jingled again. This time it sounded right. Handangi emotional resolution and message. Leela went home that night exhausted but lighter. For the first time in a long time, she believed again that there was good in the world. Not just polite good, but real, courageous good. The kind that steps in when others stay silent. The next day, Marty replaced the broken, open sign. Leela brought in a new sticky note for her wall. It said, "Be kind, but never afraid to stand up for yourself or others." And from then on, whenever that diner bell jingled, she smiled, not out of fear, but hope. Because sometimes, kindness walks in wearing leather and steel. If this story touched your heart, take a second to leave a comment below. Would you have stood up like those bikers did? Or maybe you've seen kindness show up in unexpected ways too. Share your story, because your words might inspire someone else today. And if you believe that kindness can change the world, even one small act at a time, hit that like button, subscribe, and join our community here on Be Kind Always. Remember, strength and kindness aren't opposites. They walk hand in hand. Be brave, good, and always be kind.